mean, should we be shocked? In my honest opinion, that's how I'm going to start. Should we even be shocked after what we saw last week against San Francisco? Should we be shocked by this result? I would love to say yes. I would love to say yes, I'm shocked that Philadelphia Eagles, two important games that can really decide, the whole standby with the NFC in terms of seeding and everything like that. Two really important games in that aspect can really help you in terms of getting a bye week going into the playoffs. And show both of them. Show both of them. We've been trying to, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt after last week. I did. I wasn't going, end of the world or everything like that. Season's over. Nothing about that. I was pissed off about last week. No doubt. Don't get me wrong there. I was pissed off about last week and how badly they played on their own field and just let San Francisco completely run them out of the building. I would have expected this team to at least show up for Dallas week. Nope, it's just more of the same. It just is. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. What the hell was that? 3 fumbles? Jalen Hurts with a fumble? Defense, once again, to start the game, can't get a stop. So that's, going back to the San Francisco game, throughout when the Eagles defense finally got a stop. What was it, in the fucking third quarter? What was it, 10, 11 straight drives of points allowed? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's that bad. It is that bad. Dallas just, controlling the time of possession, eating down the clock, getting into, converting third and longs with ease. Eagles constantly stabbing themselves in the foot with penalties. And yes, the first and the second quarter, the officiating was terrible. The officiating was terrible in the first and the second quarter. It's not why you lost. It is not why you lost. Were there some missed calls? Was there a missed call on Jordan Davis for a hold? Yeah. Were there a couple of flags that were taken away that probably shouldn't have? Yeah. Was that the reason why you lost? No. It doesn't matter how many penalties you took. It doesn't matter. You knew with the way that Dallas has been playing for these past few weeks, with the way that they're just putting up points on the board nonstop. They're just a steam train just constantly plowing through the tracks. They're a loose cannon right now, this Dallas offense. They're just putting points consistently, 30-plus points, 40-plus points every single week. Doesn't matter the opponent that they're playing against. And yes, we like to taunt them that they're not, playing true competition, that they really haven't beaten a team above 500. Well, they technically did today. They beat a 10-2 team. Now it's 10-3, so you could say something there. But after last week, like I said, I wanted to give this Eagles team the benefit of the doubt. I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt anymore. This defense sucks. This defense is absolute trash. Can't get a stop for their life. Can't get a tackle for their life. And if the defensive front can't get to the quarterback, oh, good luck. Good luck on getting a stop. 3rd and 19, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 9. Easy, just easy. Guys wide open. For some reason, 3rd and 9, for some reason, CeeDee Lamb's getting guarded by 20 billion different people. We're not putting this same consistent guy on him. How we're thinking Darius Slay is probably going to be the guy that's on him. And no, but you get, sometimes you get Morrow, sometimes you get some other guys, sometimes you get Byard, and it was just different every freaking time. It just was. And didn't really change the matter of the fact. Ferguson, tight end, destroyed you. He completely did. Dak made some impressive plays. My God, it's just the fact that this team, this Eagles squad, they just proved to us, in the past 2 weeks, they're just completely soft. They are soft. Soft. Offensive line, as much as we praise this offensive line, whenever the blitz comes, they look like they're deers in the headlights. They just do. And when we tell them to run the ball consistently, we don't mean fucking force Jalen Hurts into QB, decision making and he runs up the middle 20 billion times and he's sliding at the line of scrimmage. No. How about use your best running back in DeAndre Swift? How about that? That could also be a fact. That could be a fact. That could be something that you could do. With everyone complaining about, running the ball more, you barely even use DeAndre Swift. It's nice to see Jalen Hurts have his legs going, but when it's not really providing him much, and there definitely was a missed play during one of those Eagles drives. I believe it was a pass interference on A.J. Brown that took away a nice good, get into the red zone from Dallas Goedert. That completely destroyed anything that you had going. Yeah, it was definitely a very soft call. There was also a call on Darius Slay that was very soft, but still, no matter what, when Dallas, they score 14, you settle for field goals. Your lone touchdown in the fucking game was a beautiful sack and strip by Fletcher Cox, picked up by Jalen Carter, and he runs it in for 6. That was your only fucking touchdown of the day. And you still only went for an extra point. You didn't even try to go for 2. Taking 3 points. 3 points. Dallas says, oh, we'll take that any day of the fucking week. Jalen Hurts throwing dimes to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and these guys are just dropping them like flies. Jalen Hurts made a beautiful throw to Devontae Smith as he's diving into the end zone, and it hits his fingertips. He can't even reel the ball in. A.J. Brown, 1 yard away from the end zone, another dime by Jalen Hurts. It doesn't even look like A.J. Brown's even paying attention. It goes right through his hands. It goes right through his basket. That's how little it looked like he was paying attention on that play. There were many drops by Devontae Smith. There were many drops by A.J. Brown. Of course, there was also a couple of fumbles combined from those two. Yes, it's not even defending Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts wasn't good either. But, if Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown make their catches, the game probably would have been a little closer. It probably would have been a little bit of a contest. You know what I mean? If you don't take penalties that take you out of certain situations, if your receivers actually fucking catch the ball, if they don't drop the ball, maybe this is actually a game where you're actually in it and you have a chance. You didn't have a chance. You didn't have a single chance. A single chance. That's the matter of the fact right there. And yeah, they can still win the division. The Eagles have the easiest schedule in terms of strength of schedule going down the rest of the way. They do. They still have a chance to win the division. They still have a chance to win the number 1 seed, but now barring they need San Francisco to lose a game in order for them to get the number 1 seed, and they have to win out. Yeah, you play Seattle next week. Geno Smith is injured, but I'm sure he'll be back for that game. So who knows what's going to happen in that situation. And yeah, you got the Giants twice, and you got the Cardinals. So yeah, there's still a good shot, quote unquote, for this team to win a division and all of that stuff, but you're not giving me Super Bowl winning aspirations. You're giving me one and done. You're giving me a team that, if they win the division or they somehow win the number 1 seed, they lose in the first round. That's what I'm reading from this team. That's just what I'm getting. And if people want to think something else, go ahead. If they still want to believe in this team, go ahead. Yeah, you're 10-3. Oh, why are you being so hard on them? Look at the product that we got in the past 2 weeks. And we're trying to constantly say, oh, you're disrespecting this squad. Well, the Eagles gave all the national media as much, reason to constantly criticize this team because that's what they've been doing the entire season. The Eagles, didn't give them a second chance to think about that. Nope, the Eagles just proved what the national media kept saying about them. Right now, this team, they're soft. They just don't look like they came prepared for any of these past 2 games. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous how terrible this defense is. And that goes to Howie Roseman. We could blame Sean Desai all we want. We could blame some of the guys that are, in positions that they probably shouldn't be. Morrow is in there. There's some other guys that probably shouldn't even be playing either. Roby probably shouldn't even be playing. Like, you got so many guys here on waiver claims in that secondary position to where you let TJ Edwards, Marcus Epps last year walk, where you don't want to pay them the money because they were really good for you. But when I'm looking at this defense, they put so much time in the trenches. And yes, the trenches are a very, 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 very important position to build around. I'm not knocking for what they do there. It's for what they completely, disregard. The linebacking core is terrible. It is absolute garbage. And the secondary, when you lose Avonte Maddox, yeah, that is a huge loss for you because it adds a little something that, you're missing there. Darius Slay is getting older and is not as good as he used to be. And James Bradbury definitely is nowhere close to as good as he was last year. Nowhere close. The secondary is one of the worst in football. It just is. This defense, if you can't get to the quarterback, and this team was built to get to the quarterback, and I don't know, maybe this front office, this team was constantly blinded how many sacks they got last year to where it's like, oh, all we got to do is get sacks because we got so many sacks last year. It doesn't matter how we build our secondary. It doesn't matter in all that. As long as we get all these sacks, as long as, Hassan Reddick does his thing, as long as Josh Sweat does his thing, as long as, these young guys, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, as long as all these guys get to the quarterback, we'll be fine. Look what happens when you don't get to the quarterback. Their sack rate on third down is the worst in football. Yeah, that is a stat. That is a stat. That's I believe, who was it that tweeted it out today? Who was it that tweeted it out during the game? It was Shell Kapadia. Eagles' organizational philosophy when building the defense is to overinvest in the pass rush at every turn. On third down this season, the Eagles are sacking opposing quarterbacks 5.1% of the time. That is the worst rate in the NFL. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage on how that is. It's... Oh, man. This team just got teabagged on primetime twice in a row, giving up 33 or more points in 3 straight games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They didn't score a single touchdown on offense. Not one. Not one. Not one. Not one. Not one. It is that bad. Looking at the game today, the stats. Jalen Hurts, 18 of 27, 197 yards, 1 sack. Their best play of the game, I'm not going to kid you, was a fake punt by Brandon Mann. Good pass by him to Zacchaeus. That was your best play of the game. That was your best play of the game. Congratulations, you faked the fucking punt. Congratulations. DeAndre Swift, 11 carries for 39 yards. Jalen Hurts, 5 carries for 30 yards. Kenneth Gainwell got touches. Boston Scott got touches. Look at your receiving core. 13 targets for A.J. Brown, 94 yards, but he had a lot of drops and a lot of fumbles in there. Devontae Smith, same thing. Dallas Goedert caught every ball he was targeted with, so good for him. And Zacchaeus, the one target he had was the fake punt. Fumbles. A.J. Brown fumble. Devontae Smith fumble. Jalen Hurts fumble. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Cunningham, you had a healthy team coming into today. That, wasn't the issue. Cunningham came back. Goddard came back. A lot of guys that were injured came back. But you did lose Jurgens again to a chest injury, it looks like. So who the fuck knows what that's going to fucking be like. Sacks doesn't really fucking matter. They sacked Dak 3 times. Dak was good today. 24 of 39, 271 yards. Pollard, 16 carries for 59 yards. Dowdle, 12 carries for 46 yards. Ferguson killed you. 5 receptions for 72 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 71 yards on 6 catches. Gallup had 48 yards on 3 catches. Cooks, 37 yards on 2. Pollard, 37 on 7 catches. There was 1 fumble by Dak Prescott. That was the Jalen Carter touchdown return. Their defense, when they brought the blitz, Eagles couldn't do anything about it. Bottom line there. Could not do anything about it. Could not. I just don't get it. All the weapons that you have on offense, and you can't figure it the fuck out. That is sad. That is sad on how bad it's been. Look, there's a tweet right here that sums up my entire thoughts right here. This is what sums up my entire thoughts, and I'm going to give credit to Frank here on Twitter. It's a long season. They are in a brutal stretch of their schedule. There is no debate there. They were bound to lose a couple of games. That's the NFL. The problem is the fact they got manhandled in both games. That simply can't happen. Losing is fine. Getting embarrassed is not. If you were competitive just the last 2 weeks, if your offense, if it was a one-score game in both, if you were neck and neck, back and forth, the other team just happened to make the extra play to win the game. If it was those type of results, I would have been perfectly fine losing 2 games in a row. Because at the end of the day, it's the NFL. That happens. Not like this. Not like this. Because this paints an entire picture on the entire team in general, on how they just weren't prepared to play this. And you cannot use the excuse of the tough schedule. Because you knew these games were coming. You knew these games were coming to be prepared for those. You can't be that tired. You can't be that gassed. 3 games in 14 days, that's not an excuse. Dallas, okay, having 10 days off, that's not an excuse. San Francisco having 10 days off, that's not an excuse. It's not. It's not. But now you're going to get an extra day off now because you got flexed to Monday Night Football with the Seahawks. I believe that got flexed to Monday Night Football, if I do remember, if I say so myself. But I think it's Monday Night Football now. Whatever it is. You got Seattle next Monday, and then you got Christmas against the Giants, then you got the Cardinals, and then you got the Giants again. Yes, they can still win the division. Yes, technically they can still get the number 1 seed, but they need a lot of things to go right in that case. They need to win out, and they need San Francisco to lose a game. Because they could still win the division, they just win out. Because they have the strength there against Dallas. Dallas have lost more games in the conference than the Eagles have. So there's a strength there. If the Eagles win out, they win the division. They need San Francisco to lose one of their next few games. It's just ridiculous. Just look at the start of this game. You didn't get 1 stop on defense until the 3rd quarter. That was the first drive for the Dallas Cowboys in the 3rd quarter. You actually got 2 defensive stops. Forced a punt on a 3-and-out, and then you got the fumble recovery touchdown. So your defense made 2 plays in that 3rd quarter, and that was it. And that was it. Look at the offense in the first drive. The fumble by Jalen Hurts. Go for a field goal. Get another field goal. Fumble on the first play by A.J. Brown in the half. You punt the ball 3-and-out. Then you get the fumble touchdown. And then it goes down. Then you fumble it again to Devontae Smith. It's just ridiculous. How many penalties did you take this game, too? 10 penalties for 95 yards. A lot of those penalties were on those opening drives, too. So, yeah, that was fun. That's fun. That is really fun. Unbelievable. So, if we're looking at both of these teams' upcoming schedules, Dallas, I think, has the toughest schedule out of a lot of teams going into the final few weeks. They play Buffalo next, who just won a game against the Kansas City Chiefs to keep their season alive after, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid just completely embarrassed themselves complaining about the offsides call, which was clearly offsides on that, final play, which would have been the go-ahead touchdown. It was offsides, but you get Andy Reid out here saying, oh, it's an embarrassment for the NFL and all that stuff. Need some, cheese to go with that wine, what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. But Dallas, they play Buffalo next week. Then they play Miami on Christmas Eve. And then they play Detroit on the 30th for Monday Night Football. So, yeah, that's a tough 3 games upcoming for Dallas. Definitely. Yeah, they can definitely lose one of those games. They're playing 3 tough opponents. For the San Francisco 49ers, who are they playing in terms of their schedule? I don't think it's as tough as Dallas. They play Arizona, so that's definitely a win there for them. They're playing the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football on Christmas. So we'll see how that works there. Baltimore, I believe they're 10-3 now, so that should be a fun game. And then their final 2 games are against Washington and the Rams. So yeah, besides the Baltimore game, their schedule is very easy. And for the Eagles, like we've been saying, it's this last backstretch of the schedule. You got Seattle, who is now 6-7 on Monday Night Football. Then you got the Giants on Christmas. Then you got Arizona on New Year's Eve. And then you got the Giants again on the 7th of January. Monday Night Football, 4:30 game on Christmas, 1 o'clock game against the Arizona Cardinals, and then to be determined for that last Giants game. You're still first in the NFC East. You have 10 wins, I believe. Dallas has 9 or 10 or whatever it is. I think it's 9. Nope, both 10-3. You can still win the division. It's still up for grabs there. There's no doubt in there. In terms of the number 1 seed, it's still up for grabs, but you need a lot of things to go right for you. And with the way this team is playing, they should beat Seattle. They should beat New York twice. They should beat Arizona, but are they? That's the real question. That's the real question. That is the real question there. That's the real full question. Just, if they were just competitive in the last 2 games, that's all we asked for. If you were just competitive, I can handle losing. Not getting fucking embarrassed. You got your fucking asses bent over and penetrated the past 2 weeks on multiple occasions. Seriously, in between the 2 games, 10, 11 straight drives of points allowed by your defense. That is unheard of. Even by teams that go 2-14, 2-15. Whatever the freaking amount of games there are now. You don't see that just because it's that hard to score on those consecutive occasions or allow points on that many consecutive drives. It's just eventually your defense gets into a stop. Eventually the other team makes a mistake. But no, you just keep stabbing yourself in the foot. It's unreal. On how much? On how bad the secondary is. On how bad this defense is when they don't get to the quarterback. And now the run defense is getting exposed. What happened to the fucking best run defense in the NFL? Oh, that's gone. All you got to do is run to the left, and you get beat. Both San Francisco and Dallas tonight have been doing. All they were doing, running to the left. That's all it's been. Yards after the catch. 3rd and longs. It's ridiculous. Your offense needed to do something today. That's obvious. Dallas was going to put up points. This needed to be a back and forth battle. Your offense did shit. You had a promising drive, which led to the fumble in the opening drive. That killed everything. Yeah, you want to say the A.J. Brown penalty was soft on that play by Dallas Goedert? Yeah, you could say that. But don't fumble the ball the very next play. Don't settle for fucking field goals when you're down 17. Go for it. Have balls. Just have balls. This team showed me the past 2 weeks they don't have balls. They look scared. And they're giving so many implications of a one-and-done team. They are. No win against the Seahawks. No wins against the Giants or even the Cardinals, if that's the case. No wins against those teams are going to convince us anything else. They're just not. They're not. You got your asses spanked 2 nights in a row. 2 weeks in a row, you got your asses spanked by good quality opponents. It's ridiculous. Let's go to the voicemail line. We got Sean here. If you want to leave a text message or a voicemail, You can leave it at 215-839-9885, number below you on your screen. So let's get to Sean here to see what his reaction is, because I'm sure it's not a good reaction.
Let me just, full disclosure to start, Amadeo, I turned that shit off at halftime. You know, I gave the Eagles the benefit of the doubt after last week's beatdown. I was hoping that this team would show me some heart. But as an Eagle fan, two words are coming into my mind. First of all, embarrassed. I can see why former players like Seth Joyner get so incensed. I mean, I've seen bad Eagle teams in my lifetime, but one constant with the Eagles is they could always play defense. That shit is just, it's unwatchable. Number two, we've been lied to as fans. I mean, those coaches stood up there and told us they would run the ball more, they would put the players in better positions to make plays. And what did we see tonight? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't we see exactly what we've seen the last few weeks? No touches for DeAndre Swift. Soft as Charmin defense. Can't stop a nosebleed. And once again, you get your ass kicked. And in my opinion, the season ended tonight. San Francisco gets home field. They'll never relinquish it. The Eagles, much like Angelo Cataldi said, will lose again next week to Seattle. And to me, this year in a nutshell has basically been a big waste of time. A waste of time and energy from a team that, you know, fooled us early, but showed their true colors late. Heartless, gutless, and for the most part, talentless, especially on defense.
Yeah. Can't blame Sean for thinking like that. Cannot one bit. Just can't. How can you rebuttal that after what the team has given you the past 2 weeks? You can't. You simply can't. How can any Eagle fan rebuttal any trash talk from San Francisco fans and Dallas fans these past 2 weeks? They can't. They can't. They destroyed their asses. There's a Dallas fan right here. Dead John. I can't say anything to him. Got our asses kicked. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Taunt them? No, I can't. I simply can't. I got nothing. I got nothing. For all the talent that you have, this offense can't be this bad. Is it to the fact that Nick Sirianni is taking a lot of the stuff from the play calling on the offense, and that's why it's not creative? Like, because this reminds me so much of just like, let me say it out here. This reminds me so much of year one, you know, Steichen, Sirianni, and all that stuff, where the offense in the first few weeks of that season, you know, Jalen Hurts, the first full-time starter, you know, first year of Devontae Smith and all that stuff, the offense was very lifeless. It was very inconsistent week after week. And then when Nick Sirianni didn't stop doing the play calls and gave Shane Steichen the full play calling, the offense got better as the weeks went along. And then you went on that eventual surge to get yourself into that, you know, 9-8 spot, which got you into that ass spanking by the Buccaneers. And then you get the full season last year of Shane Steichen's offense. It was magical. It was. And now that another first-timer play caller in Brian Johnson, did Nick Sirianni cut his leash, and Nick Sirianni's taking over play calling? Is that why we're seeing some lack of creativity, and basically no creativity from this offense? Because this offense just literally feels like run up the middle with Jalen Hurts, run to the side with Jalen Hurts, slide at the line of scrimmage, try for the big chunk play. Like, seriously, I've barely seen anything with A.J. Brown in stride. They barely use Dallas Goedert. They just try to go chunk play, chunk play, chunk play, chunk play. And if it doesn't work, oh, good luck. Good luck. They just try for the big play way too much. They just try for the big play way too much. Well, Dead John, if you're not a Dallas fan, who are you then? Then why are you in my chat? Then why are you here? Are you just the Eagles hater? Are you a 49ers fan? Like, what are you? What are you? What are you? It is ridiculous. Is there, some blame should be put on Sean Desai? Definitely should be. Still, at the end of the day, there is no talent on this defense, secondary-wise. He's been getting so much, in certain weeks when the defense was making plays. Morrow had some interesting games and all that stuff where they would make some, interesting things happen. Now it's just like, they reverted back to what they should be, some of these guys, and why you got to stop claiming guys off waivers consistently. Guys on the back streets and why they're on the waiver wire to begin with. Like, seriously, what has Shaq Leonard got left in him? Even though Shaq Leonard isn't a reason why he lost today. He barely got a chance to do anything. He came in when Reed Blankenship left with the concussion protocol. Cunningham's been one of your best players on the defensive side. Slay and Bradbury, just, in my opinion, have not been good this year. When you lost Avonte Maddox, that lost a piece into that part of the secondary. Sucks. It's pain. That's basically what it is. Pain. 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 That's all I can think of. Because ass spanking last week, ass spanking tonight. Ugh. And we're never going to fully believe in this team until they prove it to us again. Because, like I said, no wins against the Seattle Seahawks. No wins against the Giants or the Cardinals. It's going to convince us. Because this team will be in the playoffs. They're not going to lose out and somehow miss out on the playoffs. That's just not going to happen. They'll probably win 3 of the next 4. I hope. They'll get into the playoffs by, whatever seed they get. Whether they win the division or not. They're just a one-and-done team. That's all I see. They're a one-and-done team. These last 2 games just showed me something. It just did. It just did. That's all I get. That's all I get from this squad. Heartless, gutless. No balls. No will to fight back. Just isn't. Just don't see it. Huge letdown. Huge letdown. Big blue balled. Big blue balled. That's what the feeling is. Blue balls. Getting teased the entire year. That's what it feels like. Well, I think that is going to do it for tonight, everybody. I appreciate you all here joining this late night after Sunday Night Football. I hate late games in general because you're just up too late for no reason. 1 o'clock games are better. And yeah, that's, my little rant there. But thank you guys for joining tonight. In terms of, stuff that's going on this week, Flyers play on, they play Tuesday, Thursday, and I believe Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, this entire sequence. So they play those days. If there's any Phillies news, we'll have some stuff. Maybe we'll talk Eagles again this week. We'll definitely put some Flyers content out there. I would have done it after last night's huge win in Colorado, but I was in New York last night visiting family, so I got home late and I was just tired. So we'll get back into the Flyers talk this week. Eagles again. Well, maybe we'll have another something on them this week, just talking. What else? Yeah, that's basically it. It's basically it. Some of you guys here in the comments section. Yep, Star Wars, Corey. Yep, embarrassing. Prodigy, yep. Embarrassing, man. We're making the playoffs, Prodigy, but yeah, we're not winning shit with the way we're playing. Definitely not. Definitely not. Who's my favorite college football? I really don't follow college, Parker. I'll watch college, but I really don't follow it to a big extent. So I really don't have a team. I'll just watch. So yeah, that's going to do it for tonight, everybody. I appreciate you all for joining. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. Join in the misery. Also, use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. So thanks, guys, for joining tonight. See you next time.